Hello everyone, my name is Yarrow and you're listening to the Daydreaming Wolves podcast. I'm sending another solo episode your way, which is the third in a row, which is very unusual for me. So I just want to take a moment to reassure you that I have really beautiful interviews recorded and that they're going to come out very soon. I just took this week off and so I haven't felt like editing an episode, but I have some resources and thoughts and updates that I want to share with you today, so hence the solo episode. I'm recording this in Samhain 2020. Not an easy time to be on the planet, a lot to be worried about. Also, of course, a lot to be grateful for, but all around a very intense experience, I would say. So I want to begin with the updates. As you might have heard, I'm running a program at the moment called Dream, which is a 6-week writing course. Maybe course is not the right word because I'm just sharing emails on Fridays with journaling prompts, and then we're meeting on Saturday. For me, it's early evening, 6 p.m. in the UK, so for some people it's morning or midday. And we're writing together, and people either work with the prompts that I offer or they work on their own projects or questions or ideas. And we light candles and do a check-in and a short meditation, and then we close together. But mainly we are together in silence writing, and it's really beautiful, and I really have appreciated the space so much and people coming to it because it gives me accountability for my own writing. And I really enjoy that there's no particular purpose. It's not like a self-development course or there's nothing to learn or take in. It's just about really committing to showing up for ourselves and each other and having a bit of company. And I know many of us don't have a lot of company at the moment. So that is why I offered this. And it's available to all Patreons. You can pledge at any amount. And then you can join us on Saturday. And the announcement that I'm now finally getting to is that I've decided to offer these Saturday sessions throughout winter every Saturday. Because it's been such a joy, it hasn't felt like a ton of work for me. And because I feel like that is something that I can offer, whatever happens next week, whatever happens with the pandemic, however many lockdowns we have yet to experience. I think we are going into another one here in the UK next week. We had different levels of lockdown, I guess, in the last few months, but things are not looking great, and so it feels nice to have that to look forward to. And I'm thinking a lot at the moment about what is strengthening our resilience, and I think creativity really is one of the main things that feel hopeful for me at the moment. So yeah, it'll be accessible for all patrons again. So there's it's open and you can come for as many sessions as you like. You can work on your own stuff. It doesn't have to be just writing. You can also maybe do some watercoloring, some coloring in. I'm going to be doing some lino cuts as well. All kinds of things. Maybe some pottery, maybe some weaving or knitting, whatever feels comforting to you. So please consider joining us if you would like to have some creative company on Saturdays as well. And then, I just want to share what feels good to me right now, what kind of resources I'm drawing on. There's something happening at the moment called the Good Grief Festival, and you can find it at thegoodgrieffestival.com. It's a free event this weekend with lots of different talks and workshops. I went to a yoga session around movement to kind of feel feelings this morning, which was great. And yesterday I attended a talk about grief after suicide, which was really interesting and of course heavy, but also really important. And if you are listening to this in the future and you've missed the free events this weekend, I think you can pay £20 and receive all the recordings in the future as well. If grief is something that you want to explore, I think this is a really beautiful resource. Otherwise, I'm listening to podcasts a lot. We're going on really long walks. My younger dog, Ernie, still has so much energy, so it's a lot, but I'm also really grateful for the accountability to be outside and explore the neighborhood and be in nature. And I always take my little super old iPod along. I'm not using a smartphone anymore. And that's always filled up with like really inspiring and lovely things. And I just have so much love for podcasters, which maybe sounds silly because I am one. But gosh, it's just a good medium. It's just really good. It's so connective and intimate, and it's, for me at least, much less overwhelming than watching stuff or being on a screen all the time, and just being able to plug my headphones in and drop into a conversation or someone sharing about their life feels really good. So 2 new podcasts, or actually they're not necessarily new at all, but I just kind of reconnected with them the last few weeks. One is called the Beyond podcast by Daphne Cohn, in which she's interviewing all kinds of artists about their journey and their creativity. It's just really beautiful. And then I'm listening to For the Wild again by Ayana Young. And particularly recently I listened to episode 204 with Dr. Natasha Myers about conspiring with plants and questioning whether this kind of apocalyptic thinking that we are sometimes doing is actually helpful. That was a super interesting episode, and it kind of reminded me that we still have a responsibility, we still have options, we still have so much to do, so many ways to look out for each other. And while some species are dying, while some climate change is already happening or is inevitable, there's still so much that we can do, and that's really important. And so I'm really grateful to Ayana for hosting the show and asking such good questions. I also want to offer my book as a resource, which I feel a bit shy about, but want to do anyway. It's important. It's called Rituals, Simple and Radical Practices for Times of Crisis, for Enchantment in Times of Crisis, which I wrote this spring in lockdown, and I've received really kind and beautiful feedback, and I'm really, really grateful to anyone who has written a review. So if that's you, thank you so much. Also, thank you to everyone who's writing reviews for the podcast. It's really important and so helpful. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, the book is out, and if you go to yarrowmagdalena.com/book, you will find lots of different links where you can order it online while also supporting your local bookshop, which is very close to my heart. So if you're interested in that, check that out. There's all kinds of chapters. The first part of the book is more generally about ritual practice and what it means to me. And then the second part has different kind of subsections for specific areas. So one for heartbreak and loss and grief, one for new chapters, identities and transitions. There's a ritual section for body blessings, for creativity, and then for enchantment and resilience. And I really hope that is a comforting resource for you this winter, or maybe something that you want to share with someone you love. I also want to talk a little bit about what I'm going to be doing today. And first of all, I want to remind us that Samhain is a day, but it's also a season, and there's no pressure to do anything specific today if you just don't have it in you. I think all of us, work with different levels of energy, and whatever is available is good. So I'll be lighting candles on my windowsill and put a little bit of food for my ancestors there. I'm gonna also write a letter to my ancestors, which I really like as a practice of kind of, catching up, saying what's been happening in the last 12 months. And that feels good, both for myself and for as an offering. And then I'm gonna try to look at the moon as much as I can. It's such a beautiful one. It's a blue moon, which means it's the second full moon in a month, and it's also in Taurus, which is my north node, and a star sign that's so close to my heart. And I really think that this sensual, slow, grounded energy is something that we need right now, and that I really want to celebrate. And I'm also gonna put my ring and my necklace out to kind of bathe in the moonlight. And if I have some more energy, I'm going to plant some spring bulbs in the garden and just tend to the little trees there a little bit, maybe wrap them in something and just be outside. And yeah, that's all I'm going to do. And there's so much more that can be done, as there always is, but if you can do just one thing, I think lighting candles on your windowsill is really beautiful. And there's this idea that it helps our ancestors find their way home, and it's also just a sign of us remembering them. In my own practice this year, and I wonder if you feel the same, I felt a real sense of softening towards my ancestors. I think sometimes there's been tensions in my family, maybe more with my grandparents, around what they think a good life is and what they would like me to be, what they think about gender, how they feel about sexuality. And I think, that's normal as a generational thing. Times have changed. There will be differences in experiences and expectations, and that's totally normal. But I think living through this year and being in a time of such deep collective uncertainty has kind of really made me see more clearly how much they just wanted to be safe, and they just wanted me to be safe. And the things that they have utilized to feel safer maybe aren't things that I would do or that I still want to live with, but I can respect that that was what's available to them at the time. And so, yeah, that's kind of a side effect that I actually appreciate and just wanted to name and ask if you feel similar. So yeah. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I will also be offering the creativity sessions over the holidays. So I don't know what kind of holidays you're celebrating, and I'm definitely going to have to learn more about what holidays are happening in the winter other than the dominant Christian ones like Christmas. But I'll have a look. I will definitely offer a session on the 1st of January, and then possibly around Christmas and maybe the winter solstice. And I think, yeah, it seems to me that many of us will be celebrating alone if we are celebrating, and that it's to be expected that there will be more global lockdowns this winter. And I think it's just a nice way to be together and just sit with the grief a little bit of this normal connectedness. And I know it's a difficult time for many people anyway, whether or not we can see our families. That's not always easy either. But I really would like to offer some space to kind of be together and reflect. So yeah, I'll announce the dates for that soon, but already wanted to say that that will definitely be time to drop into that space if that's helpful for you. Okay, I'm going to add some links to the show notes, and I think that's all I wanted to say for now. But I'm just so full of gratitude for you listening. I'm really excited to bring new interview episodes out soon, and if you have any feedback, please do email me. And just know that I'm thinking about you today and always, and that I'm grateful that you listened. Thank you.